Hi everyone, me again in sunny Smyrna, Georgia on a lovely Monday. And I just want to ask you a question. Have you ever had your mind completely blown? Has something come out of nowhere that you never expected and it just knocked your socks off? Well, had that happen to me the other day. Gets really, really hot after lunch here in Georgia this time of year. It'll be up in the high 90s probably today. It'll feel like it's in the hundreds, but so I spend a lot of time on the internet, in the hottest part of the day, and try to get everything else done when it's cooler. And I go to lots of different websites. I get a lot of stuff recommended to me to go visit and look at. People send me links to stuff, and I was watching something, and a guy posted some scientific research that took place back in the around 2000, 2001, 2002. There was some scientists experimenting with light, and specifically the speed of light. There are the Big Bang Theory, which I'm sure all of you are aware of, which scientists use to explain the existence of the universe and the birth of the universe. There's some problems with it, and one of them is that in order to answer some of the problems presented by the physical universe as we observe it today, the speed of light cannot have been what it is now, which is, I think it's 300 kilometers a second or something like that. I may be off on that, I don't know, I'm not sure. 3 million kilometers a second, I don't know. But whatever it is, it's been fixed. Scientists have assumed the speed of light has been fixed since the 50s. And in order to explain the way the universe is now, the speed of light must have been much, much faster in the past. So they tried to, do an experiment to see if they could, what they could do with the speed of light, whether they could speed it up, slow it down, whether it was a constant or whatever. And one scientific result was one group of scientists was able to speed up the speed of light, was to be able to accelerate photons, which is what light is, to 300 times what they thought was the speed limit. About the same time, another group of scientists working along similar lines were able to slow the speed of light down and actually got photons to actually stop in space, to actually be held, and they were able to store them in that state, and they didn't lose any energy. Now, that blew my mind, because all my life, I'm a child born in the 50s, all my life, science has told us over and over again that the speed of light is a constant. And here are scientists, now 18 years ago, telling us that it isn't, demonstrating that it isn't. So, it kind of made me think about, well, what roots me to reality? What are the things that I point to that say, okay, these are fixed, I can always count on these, and this can be my anchor to reality. And if something like the speed of light can turn out to be variable, then what other anchors in life are there that are more fixed? But I used to have a roommate back in college, and we used to sit around a lot and philosophize and stuff like that on days we didn't have class, and just goofing off. And I remember we were in an argument one time, and I tend to be argumentative, and that's just my nature. But I told him, I said, I don't believe in facts. And that just blew his mind. And he just said, what? What do you mean? Sorry about the sirens. But he said, what do you mean you don't believe in facts? I said, yeah, I don't believe in facts. I said, they change too much. I said, what's factual right now, right this second, may not be in the next second, or may not have been 2 seconds ago. Stuff changes. And I was just doing it to pick at him. I actually believe there are some pretty stable facts in life. But, the thing is, so much changes, and so many facts are that we're told, if you look deep enough into them. I was watching a guy, and I don't hold with creationist theory, creationists, you know, I'm not saying they're wrong, but I just don't know that I believe it. And it's the same way about ecologists, people that believe that, you know, in Darwin's theory oh, what the hell was his theory? Evolution. And you know, there are things that, if you go back into some of these things, assumptions were made at the very beginning. One of my favorite ones was the assumption about the Big Bang. Oh, no, excuse me. It was an argument that a scientist and a creationist were having, and the scientist said, "You really believe that all the men and women on the earth are descended from two people that were on the ark, and or two people that were in the in the Garden of Eden?" And the creationist turned around on him and says, "Well, is it any stranger to believe, like you do, that all the people on the earth came from a rock?" And I don't mean Iraq, I mean a rock. And the guy said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Well, it says you believe that the earth was created, the earth formed out of the void, it was hot, it was steamy, it formed a crust, it cooked in a stew of water and radiation, stuff going through space till eventually chemicals were formed, biological chemicals were formed in the soup that was the water, and this soup washed over the rocks, and life was formed." And so he said, and the scientist stopped and said, "Well, yeah, actually, that is what I'm saying." So, you know, stuff like that blows my mind. Now, it doesn't have anything to do with everyday life. Riding this motorcycle has more to do with that than any of this stuff these people are talking about. But it just got me thinking about it. You know, what are you firmly rooted in? Some people are firmly rooted in a religion, whatever that might be, whichever religion that might be. Some people are vehement that science is the only thing to root your life in. That you know, and then there are other people believe in other things, and there are people all over the map in between the two. And I consider myself the latter. I'm kind of in between it. I don't have any proof. I mean, direct proof of anything. Of anything really, as far as a belief goes. A belief is just something you believe in. But I just wonder what roots you. What are you? Is there something that you always know? I mean, you know, people say, "Well, I always know that my family loves me. You know, I'm rooted in my family," and that's a really good one. But as we know, families change sometimes. People get divorced. You know, people get estranged. But I would say I'm in that camp of being rooted in my family. That means more to me. That keeps me going. That keeps my feet on the ground. But what keeps your feet on the ground? You know, what are you rooted in, or what's blown your mind that you've heard recently, or you know, I'd be curious to know. All right, well, I'm on my way to get some over to the dealership to get some oil and a filter for this old beast here. It needs a change, and I just thought I would ask the question. So I hope everybody's having a great day. If you get a chance, get out and ride a little bit. Here in Georgia, it's just beautiful. You got to get out before it gets too hot. All right, take care, everyone. See you next time. Bye-bye.